Hey, what's going on, people? The boy man Mike coming at you guys with an update reaction for the first game of the college season. This was a pretty good season opening for the college season for the Georgia Bulldogs. Kind of give me thoughts on a few teams, starting with the Bulldogs, and kind of go in depth as far as that's concerned. But let's just start with the score. Um, let's just be honest. The Bulldogs just totally outmatched Oregon. I never had the feeling that they was going to lose this game. When you have a quarterback that has struggled like Bo Nix, and let's just be kind of honest, Bo Nix has been absolute ass cheeks for quite some time. So I never got the feeling that it was going to be anywhere near um, a good game. Oregon is just look. We're talking about SEC at this point, and this was a massacre. From the very beginning, Georgia just came out the rip, and it was just an absolute, like I said, it was just an absolute massacre. Look at the stats for the Bulldogs, and Stetson Bennett was 23, 31, 368, two touchdowns. Carson Beck had a few, but the running game for me, it has to improve. And I know a lot of people look at this and say 132 yards is good enough, but I just don't think it's good enough. The Bulldogs, you're talking about the SEC, and you got Florida that played well against the number 17 in Utah today. It came down to the last snap. You got Alabama. Alabama put up some big time numbers today. They actually the score was let me get it. Alabama did a damn. They played well. Damn, Miami put up 70 today. Um, but that's again Bethune Cookman don't really expect much. But they put up 55 against Utah State. Man, Bryce Young had a damn good game himself, passing for 109, five touchdowns. It was just an absolute massacre. I don't think like honestly, I'm gonna just be real. Both teams got a ways to go. um, CJ Stroud for Ohio State did not have a very good game himself. I think for the most part, that defense and running game, offensive line pretty much carried Ohio State today. He had 223 yards, two touchdowns. CJ Stroud, Henderson, and Williams, those guys were absolutely electric today. 15 for 91 to Henderson, and Williams had 14 carries for 84 yards. The defense, it was a pretty good game. Notre Dame. I like honestly, like I said, I'm gonna just say this. All right, week one is not one of these games where you can say, all right, this is the standard, and this is without a shadow of a doubt, how teams are going to play all season. All right. Alabama should have blown out Utah State 55-0. Ohio State and Notre Dame, the game was close. All right. Number two, number five. Like I said, I thought that running game for Ohio State was pretty damn good. And let's just be honest, Notre Dame, the offense is just they got a long way to go with the offense. The defense for Notre Dame did pretty well. I expected more out of CJ Stroud, and he really didn't show me much of anything. But like I said, with the dogs, man, today, defensively, they did quite well. They dominated from the absolute beginning. You got Jalen Carter, he was just an absolute nightmare up front, passing, physicality. The dude was just absolutely unreal. So I like what I saw from the dogs. All right, again, let me go through the numbers. 439 yards, com- total yards as far as the passing is concerned from Georgia. So it kind of came out, showed a little. It kind of surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. They kind of surprised me coming out passing the ball as well as they did, three touchdowns. But for the most part, I just thought Oregon's defense was just absolutely fucking atrocious. That they need some help. They need Jesus. And in quite some time, like Oregon has always had a top notch offense, but when you got a guy like Bo Nix, bro, it ain't much you can do. The dude is just a freaking nightmare. 173, 4.7 average a throw. Let me repeat that. 4.7 average a throw. Not a run. We're talking about throw. So again, the Georgia secondary, the Georgia linebackers, like the dude, they were just absolutely on point today. And like I said, I expected this game to be a blowout, 49-3 Oregon. Look, Oregon is just like one of the biggest issues with Oregon and teams of the Pac-10, Pac-12. These guys are just they don't play any damn defense there. Let's just be real. They don't play any defense. Georgia, they did exactly what they were supposed to do, absolutely destroy Oregon. And like I said, I'm gonna be real. The only team that I was kind of impressed with uh, is Georgia State. I'm just gonna be real, man. The only team I was really surprised with today, not surprised, but impressed with, was Ohio State. CJ Stroud played like absolute shit. I don't think he's a very good quarterback. Things could change. This is only the first game. I expect Georgia to do exactly what they did today, and they dominated. They need to dominate every team that they should. My issue has always been, can they do this against Alabama? That's the biggest question. Can Georgia dominate Alabama the way that they dominated Oregon? I'm not sure. Um, like I said, man, I expected um, them to run the ball a lot more than what they did. I think today was just all right. They saw a weakness in the Oregon's defense, and they went to a lot of short bubble pass screens. They got the ball out quick. They ran the ball fairly well. The offensive line did a pretty good job. I just need to see more from Georgia because let's be honest, we're talking about Alabama. We're talking about Alabama. I'm not interested in beating Oregon. I'm not interested in beating Florida. I'm not interested in being beating Tennessee. I'm not interested in beating anybody that's not Alabama. So when I make predictions and when I see the Bulldogs, I don't care about beating Florida. I don't care about beating Oregon. We should beat them. They have some of the best talent on one team that we've ever seen in college since the when Alabama was really running college football. So Georgia should beat these guys. But when we're talking about being on equal level, that's what we need to critique the Bulldogs. Not beating Oregon, not beating Florida, not beating Tennessee. I don't care about Stetson Bennett throwing the ball for 360 something yards against Oregon. He should. Oregon never played any defense. In the history of Oregon, they have never, ever played any good defense. We're talking about some good defense. That's not what they've done. So again, I don't care about Oregon. You can't tell me out of the last 10 years a defensive player that has come out and we come to the NFL where they had more than one. Let's just be honest. When the last time Oregon has done anything? Somebody leave that info. When was the last time Oregon has had a good defense? Let's be real. When was the last time they've ever had a defense? Like I said, I'm not impressed with that type of stuff. I need to see more from the Bulldogs offensive line, the running game. And like I said, I have no doubts that they're going to represent the SEC as well as Alabama. It's going to be Alabama and Georgia. I just don't think anybody is capable of beating Georgia right now. Um, don't matter who is at quarterback. Don't matter who's the starting running back. I think the Georgia defense is that damn dominant, and they're going to be dominant for quite some time. Barring injury, these guys are going to be dominant for quite some time. And I feel the same exact way for Alabama. The offense, you got Bryce Young doing his thing right now. I still think he's a little bit shaken from the championship game. Will he bounce back from it? I would say so. But like I said, this is a totally new team. For the most part, most of Georgia defenders, Jordan Davis, N'Kobe Dean, all these guys are pretty much gone. Ringo, he had a tremendous game today. I expect, I expected him to do that, but like I said, man, I'm not impressed by beating Oregon. I'm not impressed by beating a lot of these teams, but like I said before, man, a win is a win. But you're talking about winning championships. It's all about winning championships against great teams. And if Ohio State continues to run the ball the way that they're doing and play good defense the way they did, they're going to be a tough team. I don't think anybody who is truly looking at the game the proper way can disagree with that. Ohio State 21-10 over Notre Dame, the number 5 team in the same in the nation. Um, I think a lot of people, have these expectations, especially in college. You got these big time players. They expect everybody to put up 40 and 50 points, and if you're not putting up 40 and 50 points, you're no good. And like I said, if you go back to look at a lot of Georgia games against, um, the best teams, Georgia, they did quite well. It's one of the greatest defenses of all time. And like I said, man, I just need to see more for our offensive line, and I need to see more from our running game. We cannot continue to count on, bad secondary play. Oregon couldn't. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't get any consistent pressure. The offensive line and just the offense, Georgia just dominated all the way around. Let's just keep that real. They dominated all the way around, and like I said before, man, I'm not surprised. I expected Georgia to come out and do exactly what they did. But I will say one thing, and this is not going to sit well with a lot of Georgia fans. We got to stop being so cocky. All right. Yeah, we won the national championship, and we've been, struggling to get over that hump when it comes down to Alabama and Georgia. Kirby has lost to Alabama in some horrendous ways. But like I said, you know, uh, this is not the time to be arrogant. Okay, Georgia, just because we won last year doesn't guarantee that we're going to continue to dominate teams the way that we've dominated them the last, year and a half or so. But like I said, man, this is Oregon, man. Let's just keep it real. Josh Gillen, when they went to the championship game against Cam Newton. I mean, Cam Newton been in the league, what, 14, 15 years? That was the last time Oregon had a defense. Like that's exactly the point. Oregon doesn't have. They're not known for ever really having a good defense. Excuse me. And got Water said Oregon have never had a good defense. Oregon can't compete with the SEC. Every time that they compete with the SEC, every time they play with the against the SEC team, they get blown out. Um, you saw Stetson Bennett stats trying to build that depth. Come on, let's stop. He's Stetson Bennett had a great game against Oregon. It's all about consistency. Every quarterback in college football is gonna, especially if you're a starter, you're gonna have some decent numbers. Um, but Georgia has the best talent, whether it's wide receiver, offensive line, running back, tight ends. I mean, they tight ends are just absolutely amazing right now. Brock is just unfucking real. Brock is unfucking real. It's nothing like Stetson doesn't have to do much. Just get the ball out of his hand and get into the playmakers. Exactly what they did today. That's great coaching by Georgia, getting the ball out of his hands. And I want to say one thing too. That play where that play where you had Stetson Bennett, running around and threw the touchdown in the back of the end zone. That was some of the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. Let's keep that real, man. They had dudes running into each other. Stetson Bennett literally turned his back to the deep to the his offensive players, running backwards, and the Oregon players literally ran into each other. We had three guys running through each other. We had like two wide receivers and tight ends in the back of the end zone wide the hell open. That was an atrocious play. That was atrocious defense. Keep it 100% real. But like I said, when you go, you know, what's the numbers again for Stetson? He had 368 yards. He had a great game. He had a great game. But he should go do that against Oregon. Oregon defense fucking sucks. It sucks. Let's keep it real. It freaking sucks. 25 of 31, 368, 11.9, two touchdowns. That's exactly what he should. And they just handled business. This is what we talking about championships. You got to handle your business. You have to destroy teams that you should destroy. And when we talk about going against great teams, Alabama is a great team. They win championships there. You got to play perfect ball when we talking about going against Alabama. We talking about Bryce. Have you seen the defense of Alabama lately? Have you seen those wide receivers? They always have the best of the best. Next to Georgia, Alabama always had the best of the best. So it's a higher standard when we talk about playing against the best. I don't want to see Stetson Bennett passing for 200 yards against Alabama. I need to see 368 against Alabama too. I need to see the running game, 120 yards plus against Alabama, running through these guys. It means nothing to me when you're going against an Oregon. You should destroy Oregon. That's what you should do. By no means is Ohio State going to lay down because Georgia is the national champions. By no means is Alabama going to lay down because the Georgia Bulldogs are the national champions. We should beat Oregon. And Josh Gillum, most of those yards came from screen passes, wasn't many throws downfield. Exactly. The guy had a great game. But again, if Georgia is going to win the championship, they're not going to do this. They're not going to win like this against Alabama. It's not happening. You're not going to beat Alabama with a bunch of screens because their DBs are much better. Their linebackers are much better. Their front line, their front four is much better than Oregon's. Let's not kid ourselves. Bo Nix is still Bo fucking Nix, okay? He's Bo Nix. He's been a turnover machine ever since he stepped in as quarterback. So we should have destroyed them. It should have been that way. That's what I expect. I expect championship balls for championship teams. Georgia is a championship team. I expect perfection. Just like Kirby hits up 43, they are 49-3, and Kirby is cussing out his defensive players for making simple mistakes because you're not going to beat Alabama making these mental mistakes. You're not going to win running backwards, turning your back to your receivers, running backwards, and throwing out Hail Marys. You're not going to do that against Alabama. And if you do, you can't make a habit of doing that. And Evan Thompson, I don't think Oregon is that good, to be honest. I know Georgia is great, but a good team would score more than 3 points. And like I said, this is a top 15 team in Oregon, and they couldn't score not one fucking touchdown. So the next few games against the better teams of the SEC, I need to see Georgia. Absolutely, I need to see Stetson Bennett. I want to be wrong about Stetson Bennett. I want to be wrong about this defense. I want to be wrong. But it means nothing to me when you're playing Oregon. You should destroy Oregon. You're talking about greatness. If the Georgia Bulldogs want to go back to back, then they have to beat who they beat and destroy them. I need to see these types of numbers from Stetson Bennett against lesser talent, because when we go back and you look at the games against pretty good teams, he didn't throw as well. I mean, he threw an interception against what, Sanford, who we played last year. You shouldn't be throwing interceptions against Sanford, bro. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be throwing interceptions against pitiful teams like that. This is not necessarily true. This is not necessarily true. Take what the defense give you. No, not if you have elite talent. That right there, what elite teams do, they use their personnel to attack the defense. Let's just say, for example, all right, you think Michael Vick is just gonna sit back? Let's just say Michael Vick, for example. All right, you got Michael Vick. If I know that I have Michael Vick, guess what? I'm gonna design plays to make sure that Michael Vick gets one-on-one against some of their worst defensive players. So it's not necessarily all right. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna keep checking the ball down. No, I got Michael Vick. He's the best athlete at quarterback. So guess what? You're gonna design plays to make sure that you constantly attack. Your job as an offensive coordinator is to find the weakness and attack it constantly. When I see as a boxer that you cannot cover your head, guess what? I'm gonna keep knocking your ass upside the head. I'm gonna keep fainting to the body so I can knock your head off. So you don't wait to see. No, you keep attacking that spot. You don't wait and see. You attack. So, like I said, look. You got to make sure that you always in attack mode. As a defensive coordinator, once you find that weakness, you got to continue to attack. You always searching for a weakness in the defense. You don't wait to see, all right, they playing a cover six. All right, even if they playing a cover two, they playing cover two. They just keep checking the ball down. No. What you're gonna do? Use play action, use your tight ends, use your fastest receiver to attack that safety and hit those corners. The object the objective in football is to find the weakness and continue to attack it. They hacked them up, but they aren't really that good football team. Like I said, I think Oregon is a good football team. They just no match for the SEC. This is the land of the big boys. Okay, let's just keep that real. This is the land of the big boys. There's a reason why most of the first round picks, most of the first round picks in the NFL draft is coming via the ACC and the SEC. Mostly the SEC. Just keep that real. There's a reason why teams only solely focus on the SEC. There's a reason why 3 to 4 teams every year is in the top 15 in the top 25. There's a reason for that. The SEC is the land of the big boys. Bennett is underrated. I don't think he's underrated. Um, he's exactly what Kirby wants. Kirby wants a guy at this moment because his offensive line for the last 2 years. Last year, the offensive line wasn't as great as dominant as we used to seeing. Um, so and the running back, we haven't had a running back that came out that was dominant. Like Georgia's always had a dominant run game. Um, and we kind of got spoiled with Sony and Chubb, Todd Gurley, those guys. Like we got kind of spoiled. So I, for the most part, I think that's what the issue is. We're so used to seeing these dominant running backs, and then when we don't have that running back, um, Georgia offense is a little bit vulnerable. So what Kirby wants is to constantly keep his defense off the field by using Stetson's legs. That's what really keeps this offense and this team churning. The ability to get the defense off the field, control the clock, so they can ultimately pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. That's one of the reasons why JT lost his job because he wasn't the guy that can run around. And if the Bulldogs would have had the same dominant run game that they had with Sony, JT would have still been starter. But they didn't have that. So they had to use ultimately what the Falcons are doing, using the quarterback as an extension of the run game because they don't have that dominant running back anymore. So Stetson he's helping. Now you got the teams they can't send blitzes because if you send a blitz and you lose contain, Stetson can go for 20 yards. So like I said, I understand why they're doing it. I understand why Stetson is playing. I understood why JT was ultimately benched because at that time the Bulldogs defense weren't giving up a damn thing. They give up like 10 points a game, 11 points a game or something like that. One of the greatest defenses in college football history. They weren't giving up anything. I think they got like 3 or 4 shutouts all last year. So that defense was dangerous. All they needed, Stetson, don't screw it up. That's it. That's it. Just don't screw it up. Like I said, it's the first game. Nolan Smith, like I said, Jalen, those guys gonna get better, man. But like I said, we can't get so arrogant and say, all right, we beat Alabama last year. It's going to be the same team. Alabama going to be the same team. We're going to have the same look last year. That's arrogance. We're talking about Alabama, okay? It's still Nick Saban coaching that team. Bryce Young is a year older, so he understands what he needs to do now. So we can't get arrogant and say, all right, we're going to beat Alabama the exact same way. What's going on, Melvin? How you doing, man? Yeah, Evan, that's exactly the point. He looked good. He looked great today. But quarterback playing football is not about a one game. It's about doing this every single game. Consistency. You don't put people in the Hall of Fame after 1 year or one game. It's about consistency. The problem is we will not get a chance to prove ourselves until the playoffs because of schedule. Yeah, that's and see that's the thing. That's why I said like I need to see more of the running game And like I said, Georgia Bulldogs fans right now, we're extremely cocky, and we have a right to do so. But again, we still talking about Alabama, man. This is Alabama. Nick Saban is the best college coach of all time for a reason. He knows how to win. He knows how to get the best out of his players. And I know a lot of Alabama fans are gonna say this, and I know they're thinking this. They did lose a couple of their wide receivers in that championship game. And if they have those guys, who's to say that the Bulldogs would have had the same outcome? I mean, let's just be real, people. Let's just be real. It was our time. Stetson made some great plays at the end of the game. The catch in the end zone, great catch, great throw, great catch. That's what you're supposed to do. Make plays in big time situations. And Stetson on that play in the national championship, and I believe it was AD who caught the ball in the end zone last year. That's what you're supposed to do. Make big plays in big situations. They did that. But who's to say we're going to be fortunate again to have Alabama wide receivers out? The media loves some Stetson Bennett. He led the Bulldogs to a national championship. They are really gassing this man up like he's going to be number one draft pick. Like I said, man, this ain't about hating on Stetson Bennett. It's about telling the truth. And this Georgia Bulldogs is one of the most well-rounded teams in college. Don't belittle Ringo. Don't belittle Jalen Carter dominance. Don't do that. Don't belittle what Kirby Smart has done. He's found the right mix of players and play those guys together to play as one. That's what great coaches are supposed to do. So this team is bigger than Stetson Bennett. That's one of the main issues that I have. It's the same like Tom Brady. Like everybody want to point the finger at Tom Brady as if he's the one winning all the championship, and you forget that this man has never had anything less than a top 15 defense. For 16 out of his 20 years, this man had top 15 defenses. The Patriots were more than just a Tom Brady show, and the Bulldogs are more than just the Stetson Bennett show. You saw the highlights tonight. If you didn't see the highlights was Stetson Bennett led the Bulldogs to a win over Oregon. Not one mention about the defense dominance. It was 49-3. And not one mention about, man, that Georgia Bulldog defense was absolutely dominant. They didn't do that. I, like I said, I get what you're saying, but like you don't know, you still attack. Like that's not taking what the defense gives you. You go in there and you find the hole in the defense and you attack it. It's not necessarily. I get what you're saying, but that's not. I guess this is wrong wording. I'm not gonna lie to you. You believe Stetson Bennett is going to take to another championship victory again. This is what we're talking about. Stetson Bennett is not going to take us to a national championship against Alabama. That's disrespectful to Alabama. Have you seen the national championship? Let's go back to the first half of the national championship. It was 9-6 in the first half. We were down. We did not score a touchdown. Okay? If Alabama scores touchdowns instead of field goals, That's 21-6. Alabama was moving the ball down the field. He was great, man. Like I said, it's still one game. Still one game, man. Um, that front for Georgia Bulldogs, like they're gonna be able to make a lot of plays in the secondary, man. Those dudes gonna make a lot of plays, man. And Kirby is a DB, and he know how to get those guys in the right position to make plays. And I think the safeties were great. The corners were absolutely amazing. They tackled well. They just didn't give Oregon anything. They didn't really give them anything. It was an absolute dominant performance. I didn't expect them to not score a touchdown though. I'm gonna be honest. I thought they would at least score a touchdown or two, and Oregon was just they were pitiful. Todd Monken is doing a great job of managing Stetson Bennett. He knows exactly what he needs to do, get the ball out of his hand quick, and that's what great coaching is supposed to do. Stetson Bennett, if you like I said, that play against Oregon when he threw the ball in the end zone for a touchdown, that was a horrible play. As a quarterback, they teach you to never turn your back to the defense, to your players. He literally turned his back to the and started running backwards. If those guys don't run into each other, that's a 25. That's like a 20-yard sack. See, this is just disrespectful. You talking about a team that has won how many championships now? Like this man has won 6 national championships, and you telling me to stop being scared of Alabama. This is the same team that beat us for the national championship. They beat us multiple times. That's not being fair. That's just telling the way it is. Alabama whipped our ass. They've had our number for quite some time now. I don't know. Um, I highly doubt it. I think he'll be more so a undrafted free agent. I just don't think any team in the NFL is going to use him just based on his size. He doesn't have a very big arm at all. But hey, you never know, man. You just never know. I just doubt it. Like, come on, man. That dude's he look like he's smaller than Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray, he's a baseball player, and Kyler Murray can throw. I'm talking about he can sling that thing because he has a baseball history. Stetson Bennett doesn't throw the ball, you know, deep ball that well. Stetson is playing well for what Georgia needs. That's all it is. That's what he needs. He's doing exactly what we need him to do. Just manage the game. Don't fuck it up. The defense is going to put us in position to win most of the games. Just don't make mistakes. Do exactly what you're supposed to do. Get the ball out of your hand. Don't throw interceptions. Don't fumble the ball. He's doing it. That's what you expect. That's what you want from your quarterback when you have a great defense like that. And Raymond, that's like I said, it's disrespectful to say, all right, Stetson won us that game. It's just like I said, it's disrespectful. Cook and I don't know why I always get his name. I'm gonna get it. Zamir White. I don't know. I always forget. But Zeus and Cook was balling in that game. Okay, Zeus was balling in that game. Like I said before, it's not about you know. Oh, you afraid of Alabama? Uh, let's just be clear. Let's just be true. Alabama's a great team. Alabama's a great team. Let's not pretend like they're not a great team. That's just real. It's not about being fake or afraid. They had 140 yards rushing in the national championship game. That's how you win. Stetson had minus 24 rushing in that game. Yeah, he was running backwards. They got quite a few sacks against Georgia. We can't continue to count on the defense just to carry us. We need this offense to be on point if we're going to win the SEC championship. Yeah, man, he running around like that's the Michael Vick. Like Michael Vick used to do the same crap. Run around, run around backwards, throwing the ball. Like, I mean, look, Mike Vick had some great runs, but he had a lot of runs. Like, bro, if you don't throw the damn ball, I remember one play. It was so bad with Mike Vick. He had I think it was against Tampa Bay. The dude literally threw the ball in the air, like he trying to prevent a sack, and he like threw the ball in the air, bruh, he threw the ball way up in the freaking air, and they ended up getting picked. All he had to do was just go down. Like Vic used to do that a lot, and that's the same thing that Stetson was doing, just running around, thinking he just get away from everybody. I agree, but I believe your offense gonna pull up points this year. I don't need to believe. It's not about that. We're so good at recruiting great players, you forget that Alabama has a great coach. I don't understand how people don't get this. It's not about us. It's about respecting the fact that Nick Saban is a what 6-time national champion right now. We're not. We're trying to get there. Go back and look at his stats for yourself. Go look at the rushing stats. Go look at the Bulldogs offense for yourself against great teams. Not bad teams, great teams. The dominant defenses in the SEC. Go look at the games and you tell me. Most of the games last year that the Bulldogs had, they were over in the second quarter. Most of them were done in the first quarter. You can't continue to count on that. We win as a team, we lose as a team. Point blank. Period. Now we have. Do we have more weapons? Do the dogs have more weapons than they had last year? Whoo! Ah. I think the running backs may be a bit better this year. I think the running backs may be a Milton. I think he obviously is the elder statesman, the vet there. So I think it'll be fine. Um, but I need this offensive line to step it up. I really need this offensive line to step it up for the Bulldogs. I haven't seen that dominant performance in a while against good teams. That's what I need to see from 'em. And this is exactly what we're saying. This team needs to continually get better. We have the talent, but when we talk about one game, it's one game. Alabama could be very well overrated. Ohio State. A lot of people thought they was gonna put up 50 on 'em. Didn't happen. 21-10. It's one game. I hope backup bet gets. I don't count on it. I just unless these games are out of hand quick, Kirby's not going to change quarterbacks. He just doesn't do that. Kobe is a great defensive coordinator. He knows his style of offense that he wants to run, and he doesn't deviate from that. But he does not like making quarterback changes. The offense needs to step it up, but the defensive line, yeah, like I said, I need to see that dominance. I think we have a great. I think the Dogs have a great secondary. Ringo is going to be. I think he's going to be a top five pick, man. That dude is special. Ringo, just something about Ringo, just like he just ooze star. I forget the safety name. Is it Chris? But he's whew, that dude. The safety is just that dude is amazing, boy. He's a baller. The safety for the Dogs, he's a baller too. He just knows how to find the ball. I respect Bama and Saban. I know they're a team we can have the GOAT, but I think our offense is going to be better. Got to show me, man. You got to prove it to me. I don't think Alabama is afraid of Stetson Bennett, bro. I'm just being real. I don't think anybody's afraid of Stetson Bennett. The man was playing in Division 2 ball for a reason. Stetson Bennett is the ultimate game manager. Was exactly what a guy like Kirby Smart needs. Kirby doesn't need his quarterbacks to be all world. I think that was the main reason why um, Manning ended up, going to Texas because he knew he wasn't going to throw the ball the proper, like he wasn't going to throw the ball. I don't think he's worried about winning championships because if he's worried about championships, there was no reason for Manning not to come to to Georgia or Alabama for that part. He's worried about being, getting to the NFL at this point. So I don't think he was worried about, you're not going to, like, as a quarterback, if you want to be a great NFL quarterback, don't go to Georgia because you ain't gonna learn much of any damn thing. Just being real. But if you want to win championships, come to Georgia because Kirby has proven to build great teams. So if you want to win games, come to Georgia. Go to Alabama if you want to win games. But if you want to be a great quarterback, don't bring your behind to Georgia. Yeah, but Chris, like I said, Chris was absolutely that dude. He got some NFL potential too. He's a ball hawk. I like the way he tracks the ball. He hits. I think he's gonna be a great player. He reminds me of Lewis Seen. Just great instincts. Alabama can't wait to get their hands on Bennett. They're looking forward to seeing him again. Like I said, I know a lot of Georgia fans. Like I said, I'm not one to sit up here and pretend like Alabama isn't a great team. That's a great team, and they're chopping at the bit to get back at Georgia. They're not gonna take that land down. They can't wait to get to home, and I can't wait to get to Alabama because honestly, I can't stand Nick Saban. I think he's a pompous, arrogant son of a bitch. Those moves that he made against Georgia, yeah, that was sheer desperation. But we got to run the ball well, and our quarterbacks got to play well. We cannot make mistakes, but our running game got to be better. The running game for Georgia has to be better if we're going to win the national championship again. And I was saying the same thing about Ohio State. A lot of people are just saying, oh, Ohio State didn't have, they didn't score 30, 40 points tonight. It don't freaking matter. CJ Stroud is not going to have a game like he had tonight all season. He's going to get into a rhythm. So if CJ Stroud end up getting better in college, the next game, he gets in the rhythm, he finds his rhythm. You got that running game with Williams and Henderson. Now all of a sudden, Ohio State, they're gonna have a pretty good defense. You got a running game to go with CJ Stroud. And Ohio State becomes a serious contender for the championship. A running game and defense will get you a long way, especially in college. Yeah, Starks played well too. Starks there should play well. Like I said, I can't stand Alabama. I really do not like Nick Saban because I really think he's a pompous, arrogant son of a bitch. But he can coach his ass off. And the game could have, quite possibly passed him by. Because, like I said, recently, as far as his recruiting is concerned, Georgia and a lot of teams have just been passing, like getting most of the talent. Like he's not getting the talent like he used to, and it's looking more and more like those dominant defenses with Alabama was all because of Kirby. So, like I said, it's like I said until I think the Dogs are ultimately going to win a championship because honestly, I think balance, on the offense, defense side of the ball, I don't believe in Alabama secondary at all. Just gonna be honest, but they got some players up front. They got some players up front, and I think Bryce. I don't think Bryce Young is gonna have the same game that he had against Alabama. Against the Dogs last year. I could be wrong, but I'm not counting on him to have another bad game. Yeah, they O line. Like I said, Alabama got a lot of problems. They got some new guys. Bryce did not play well in my opinion. I think he was shaky. Um, yeah, like I said, let me look at Alabama's numbers real quick. You look at this. Like I said, it's against Utah State. I'm not going, overreact. It's still one game, but he was 18 of 28, 195, 5 touchdowns. But 18 of 28 against Utah State. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sold on Bryce. He had 100 yards rushing. You think that's gonna happen against Georgia? Nah. We got way too many athletes, and Kirby is not gonna sit back and just let him run. He gonna send some exotic blitzes. So I don't expect Bryce Young to, you know, be great against Alabama if he's not great against Utah State. And I've said it before. I think he's an overrated prospect. I don't think he's as good as people thought he is. He's little as hell. I don't think he's 210 pounds. I'm gonna just be running. I'm just be real. I don't think he's 200. He looked like he barely bigger than his wide receivers. So yeah, like Alabama gonna have some problems, man. They got a long way to go as well. But like I said before, we can't count on, you know, let's just be real, man. If we gonna look at we if we're looking at Stetson Bennett to carry us, we got some problems. So we're gonna need that offensive line. We're gonna need an overall game, an overall team win to beat the best teams in the SEC. Yeah, well, yeah. Young is not very big. That dude can't be bigger than 215. Ain't no way he bigger than 215. Yeah, like I said, like LSU, Alabama. Don't think Auburn is gonna be very good, but LSU is a team. Alabama's a team. Like I said, we can't count on those teams just staying the same. We got to continuously prove to ourselves that we're a great overall team. Offense is going to score more than 25 points a game. If we can score about 20 to 25 points a game, dogs will be right in the national championship. I don't think the defense is going to be as good as last year, but they're still going to have a damn good defense. The defensive line got to step up. Like I said, we got to get more pressure than what I'm saying without blitzing. Um, Jalen was a one man wrecking crew. I got to see Nolan do what he does and just continuously disrupt. Um, but yeah, I like I said, I like dogs are gonna be in the playoffs. Let's just keep that real. They're gonna be in the playoffs. But you know, if if Ohio State continue to run the ball well, CJ Stroud is going to have one of those games where he's not going to suck all year. I thought he was ass today. And that O line and that running game, the defense for Ohio State, ultimately took over, and it was just too much for Notre Dame. But yeah, like I said, it's Utah State, bro. Bennett ain't gonna carry shit. Like that's what I'm saying. That's like I said, that's ultimately what I'm saying. The Bulldogs are good enough to win a national championship with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. Stetson Bennett is not going to carry this team to a national championship. It's just not going to happen. He's not a very good quarterback like that. He's not built to build. He's not built to carry a team. Stetson Bennett himself is not going to be the Alabama. Stetson Bennett himself is not going to be the LSU. He's not that great of a quarterback. He has to have protection up front because he's not very big. The dude barely 5'10". He can't see over the line. If you look at how the play call was today, what they did a lot of bubble screens. They did a lot of rollouts. It's the exact same game plan that Arizona has for guess who? Kyler Murray. When you have small quarterbacks like that, you can't count on their ability to get outside of the pocket. Because guess what? Good defensive coordinators, in order to keep you in the pocket, they're going to send safeties on the edge and they're going to send them corners on the edge. And all they're going to do is roll and do a lot of zone blitzing to keep him in the pocket. You keep Stetson or Kyler Murray in the pocket, he's not as dangerous because he can't see over the line. And most of these defensive linemen these days, these dudes are huge. 6'6", 300 and something pounds, running a 4.4, 4.5. What is Stetson going to do with a guy that big coming at him? And like I said, not just Stetson, this is Bryce, all these guys. It's hard. You can't see over a guy that big, especially if you're 5'10". But like I said, it's a long season, man. There's nothing you know, to worry about. We got to take care of what we can take care of. We got to get better in the running game. We got to get our defensive line going, getting these pressure packages. I think this year Kirby's going to have to blitz a lot more until we find our groove in the defensive line. And like I said, the defense gonna get better, man. The secondary for Georgia is freaking elite. That's for sure. They're gonna make some plays. They're gonna get a lot of interceptions. They're gonna have a lot of turnovers. Their secondary is that damn good. They had all three starters coming back out of their offensive line. Look, Oregon is always gonna have great offense. That's what they do. They recruit for offense. It's like that's what they do. So, like I said, I'm not. The defense is very good. I know that because Oregon is a very good offense, but Bo Nix is ass. So they're gonna run the ball a lot better. Georgia, they're gonna have some of the top run defenses, but I need better. I just don't think Oregon is just that was a bad matchup against dogs. And Big Chauncey said that they just need to see where they are at this moment. And Bo Nix is complete ass. Let's just keep that real. That dude is ass. Trash. Give me Stetson Bennett anytime over him. Anytime. But we got to continue to improve as a team if we're going to go back to back. So, like I said, great win for the dogs. I think for the most part, we'll go undefeated. And when we get to the playoffs, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But I don't see anybody beating Georgia. They have a pretty easy schedule. I don't see anybody beating Georgia. But it's going to be a hell of a game against Alabama. I want Alabama again. I want to beat the living snot out of them again, just to see that stupid face, that look on Nick Saban's stupid, ugly face. He's been a he's been a prick, complaining about how the rules have changed. Like I can't wait to beat the crap out of them. I want to see him. I want to see the excuses that he have this year. Cause he had a hell of a lot of excuses in that press conference. So I want all Alabama receivers healthy. I want everybody healthy. I don't want no damn excuses. Cause we had a ton of excuses last year. You know, Pickens was coming back from a torn ACL. We like I said, we didn't even have a 100% healthy Pickens, George Pickens. We had a lot of excuses. So I want to see what his excuse is going to be this year when we whip their ass. But like I said, I want to be prepared for Alabama. I don't want any mistakes from a quarterback, running back, offensive line, defense. They got to play perfect. I'm trying to win back to back to back if we can. Georgia is that deep where we can go back to back to back. They're that damn deep. A lot of their players are young as a mug, man. And you got some studs coming in. Yeah, and that's the thing, Wallace. We won't play another good team for a while. That's why I said we got to get everything um, straight before we get there. And like I said, man, I'm gonna be hard on everybody because, like I said, I need to see perfection. Because I want to beat the living snot out of Alabama, and beating Oregon does nothing for me. We should beat Oregon. Yeah, if Kirby wants to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time, if he beats Alabama again, he's definitely going to that. He's definitely going to accomplish that. So, like I said, man, Alabama, obviously they're going to run that spread offense into the ground. Um, and Bryce Young, I just don't believe in him. I don't think he's a very good NFL prospect, a good college quarterback, but he's little, he's small. You hit him a few good times. You saw last year in the championship when Georgia hit him a few times, he got slower and slower, and then like he started making bad throws. You hit him a couple of times. You hit him a couple of good times. Yeah, you can rattle Bryce. Yeah, I saw that, Josh. I saw that. It said people say, he said, "Oh, like I said, man, he dude, why why you think Jermaine Burton left? Nobody want to block all game and get 3 targets. Like I said, man, that's not you're not gonna do that against Alabama, man. They're gonna make you throw the ball. They're gonna make you run the ball, and a team like LSU, no, they're not the LSU that we're, used to seeing. But at some point, their players over there, they're going to get it, and LSU is going to be right back in the picture. Clemson, those teams are going to be right back in the picture, and we can't count on those teams, always staying where they are. They're going to come, and we got to be prepared for it. But like I said, it was a great game. Um, that's exactly what we should do. Stetson had a great game. The offense was absolutely it was balanced. but I need to see more of the offensive line. I need to see more of the defensive line. I think the secondary for Georgia is absolutely amazing. Kendall, the special teams, those guys, they did a good job. Special teams. The coaching is always on point. Like I said, I just need to see more. That's really it. I just need to see more. I need to see consistency. I'm never sold on one game. I'm never sold on half a game. I need to see consistency all year. Oh yeah, Burton did. Yeah, I forgot about that. He had 2 touchdowns, 5 catches for 35 yards. So yeah, man, that's another reason why I want you know to beat the living hell out of Alabama. He do all this crying and complaining about players, but you sit up there secretly calling, you know, other people's teams so they can get transferred, so he can get them to transfer to his team. Josh Gibbs, he was 9 for 30. Jameer Gibbs, who transferred from Georgia Tech, and I know K Styles pissed off about that. He had 9 carries for 93 yards. Um, so like I said, they're gonna be like I said, Alabama's gonna be Alabama, LSU is gonna be LSU. And I just need to see more consistency from the Bulldogs, and they need to continuously get better. We have a great pass rush. There'll be nothing to fear. There'll be nothing to fear whatsoever, including Alabama. We got to run the ball well. We got to dominate with the offensive line, and we got to dominate with the defensive line. And I'm not worried about our secondary. Georgia secondary is absolutely on point. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all joining us. Um, yeah, man, CJ has been doing the same thing. The last couple of well, he doing exactly what me and K Styles sat down for a good minute watching CJ's tape, and his biggest things is he always, and that's most those guys. All they do is look deep and then they check it down. They look deep, check it down. Look deep, check it down. That's their whole game plan. That's the whole game plan. So I'm not. I'm like I was not impressed with CJ. Like I said, he may get better this year. I don't doubt that. But from what I saw against a good team, I wasn't impressed at all. At all. So hey man, like I said before, I appreciate you guys joining us, joining me, and I'm out, man. About to lay it down. We had some great games today. Football season is back. But let me know what you guys think about this, man. Continue to support your boy here, man. Mike Sports. I'm out of here, man. Peace.